My name's Jennifer. I'm 36 years old, and I've had chronic fatigue syndrome for 6 years. I think I had, in retrospect, I probably had a number of CFS-like episodes where I felt quite unwell, and it took me too long to recover. But 6 years ago, what I call the big one, I had an episode that I've been recovering from ever since. But looking back at all the episodes, and the one that I'm currently at the end of, there's some things that are really consistent. All of them, I either just moved to or moved from a foreign country. I was in a stressful job. I was playing competitive sports at a high level, so doing a lot of training and running around. Busy on weekends, traveling, or going out with friends. Pretty much a full life, a full plate. And what I realized was that what would happen was that I had a full plate and I didn't really have any room for any kind of illness. What would happen is I'd get sick. I'd get a viral infection or a chest infection, and I'd be out for the count. I'd have to stop everything, and it would take me a good month to recover. 6 years ago, I got a chest infection, and the infection went away, but I didn't get any better. In fact, I started to sort of feel worse. And I had, if I just stayed with the symptoms of the chest infection, it would have felt better, but I had symptoms all over the place, head to toe. I obviously extreme fatigue. On my good days, I was housebound. On my bad days, I was bedbound. I had lots of flu-y type symptoms, a sore throat, headache, achiness. I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't watch television. I couldn't follow the program. I couldn't read, and I've always been a big reader. I went to the toilet every 5 minutes, about 8 times a night, so I had an overactive bladder. My digestion problems. I had pain in my hands and my feet and my legs and my arms, and really just symptoms all over the face, feeling pretty bad. Consequently, obviously, if I was on my good days just in the house, I wasn't able to work. I wasn't able to, like I said, all of the things that I love doing. Playing sports was certainly out. Reading, even watching television, they were all out. Seeing friends, I could see them, for 5-10 minutes, but then it would just really be too hard. They'd take so much energy away that it would take me hours to recover. Really, my life was spent in my house and thinking about not being very well. So obviously, anxiety was another big problem. What was happening to me? How this has taken over my life? I don't know what's wrong with me. Health. I tried a whole bunch of things, ranging from the weird and wonderful, just because I was desperate, really desperate to get better. And in trawling through information, chronic fatigue, I came across Ashok's name and heard about his theory on the amygdala and thought it was something that made sense, and thought, well, let's give it a go. Let's try it and see how it works. So so I went along and felt better the very day after the first session. Went out with my husband, and he said he could tell a difference, that I felt better. And over the next couple weeks, it felt great. I was getting significantally better. I was able to do things that I wasn't able to do before. With the tools, I had an answer to all of those concerns. I had an answer to the doubts. I had an answer to the insecurities. And I knew, I had a belief that because I had come so far, that I could continue on. After about 3 or 4 months of using the technique, I was just able to do so many more things. And initially I was a little bit tentative, but then I started to feel quite confident about things I might be able to do. And my mother offered to take me on a celebratory trip to say, hey, you're getting better. And I thought, yeah, let's go. I hadn't done any traveling. I'd gone places to visit doctors and things while I was ill, but I hadn't traveled like I used to. And it sounded great. And for the first time, I felt like I might be able to. And other things that have happened since, I've been able to, for a woman who is crawling to the toilet, I just did a 5K walk for charity not long ago. I've been able to get back in touch with friends. I've started a writing class. I've always liked writing short stories, and I've gotten back into doing that. These are things that I just couldn't even dream about doing, even 6 months ago. And it's, yeah, I'm getting it's just, yeah, it's like rediscovering myself, and it's what's really nice about it too is that, all the fears that I had about whether or not I could be a well person again. I actually think at the other end of this experience of having chronic fatigue and going through the treatments, I almost feel like I'm a better person than I would have been otherwise, and stronger, and maybe able to do more. So it's quite revolutionary and quite emotional. The impact that the treatments have actually had. Yeah. The thing I would say about this is definitely commit yourself to it. And the process of chronic fatigue syndrome as an illness, you've got peaks and troughs. And so it kind of makes sense that the treatment that you go through would have peaks and troughs. And when you're going through your treatment, you are going to feel times when you feel like it's not going to work. But that's the time that you need to redouble your efforts. Go back to the treatments. Go back to the tools that Ashok talks about. Because what you'll get there is really a positive message and a positive reinforcement. And part of that too is you'll see how you're feeling. You'll know. What helped me best, or helped me most, was remembering, look how far I've come. It does work. The best way to, I think, illustrate the impact that the treatment has had on my lifestyle was the first time I came down to see Ashok. I planned my trip to London, with military precision, and it took me about 2 weeks to plan it, and I had to get a hotel room right next to Ashok's office so that I could, it would take the minimum amount of energy for me to get there and back, and I had to, make sure that room service at the hotel was going to be able to serve me food that I wanted, and I was concerned about what to bring, and it was a really big deal. And I'd been a person who, backpacked around the world. I've lived, in lots of countries. This is a change from an extreme from where I was to how sick I've been. But after the treatment, and I've come down to London, and yesterday I threw some stuff in a bag. I went to stay at a friend's house. I walked around yesterday, had a nice day shopping. No plans, just been able to enjoy it again. It's just such a contrast to what I've been able to be myself again and get my life back.